So I can't properly start stream because this kitty is attacking the microphone and the keyboard, so I can't do the live now post in the Discord. I'm wondering, does it work if someone else does the live now post? Like if you add live now ping and just say live now and link Japanese Quest, maybe someone else could do it, because I tried to do it. This kitty would not let me do it. I think the kitty might finally be going though. Maybe I can do it now. So natural disaster here on Japanese Quest. The power of Haru. Sometimes the power of spring can be powerful. Okay, I think we might be okay. Let's go back to the game here.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
Yokoso, Japanese Quest. Might as well say welcome. Because I think it's the first time that ever happened with the kitty not letting me start stream properly. So anyway, let's start. I'm not sure if anyone did the welcome message on Discord, but oh well, I can probably do that now. Anyway, power level will go up today. We can see currently our power level is 3,124. We can add new words here. Anyone new? I'm a Japanese teacher. We have a few kitties around, and we also learn words from Japanese games, and as we do, our power level goes up. Just kind of a fun way to learn Japanese in context from games and relax while we do it. So really that's the goal. Level up in the game, level up in real life, and pet kitties. Is there anything better than that? To me, not really. Ohayou. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Let me check the Discord quick to see if anyone tried to do that message. Let's see here. Okay, I think I can do it now. So live now ping. Anyone who wants on Discord, you can get a live now notice. So I'm just sending out that live now message now, and then just linking the Twitch page. And by the way, on the Twitch page, you can find that list for adding new words to our power level. Let's make that power level go up today. Here we go. We should have that live now ping out finally, now that the kitty is not interrupting that. We should have that live now. You might hear a doubling there, because I was on the channel briefly there. Alright, let's start. Again, anyone new? Yokoso, Japanese Quest. Welcome to Japanese Quest. Here, we learn Japanese from Japanese games, and kind of more importantly, we're on a journey. And on this journey, anyone can join. And on this journey, we can kind of share information. We can share some of our goals and ask questions, answer questions, and I don't know, just like a journey, just kind of have fun. And learn some Japanese while we do it. Alright, so right now, let's review what we're doing. This is a great game for learning Japanese for a few reasons. One reason, this game, Dragon Quest XI, has furigana, the little hiragana above the kanji to show you how they're read. That's very helpful for learners. Additionally, very helpful, it tells you where to go next. Boken Gaido, the adventure guide, and where are we going? Let's see. Okay. So, Seichi Ramada ni aru. So, in this holy land, Seijaku no mori ni iki. So, go to the Forest of Silence, which is here on our map. So, we just need to go over here and Beiranaka o sagaso, and then find Veronica. Easy enough. Let's do that. Dr. Dante, Gil, Takamura, Minna, ohayou gozaimasu. Good morning. How is everyone today? I'm pretty good. It's a good day. I don't know about you though, it's getting pretty hot where I am. This weekend looks to be really hot. I'm not living in Japan, by the way. Some people ask that sometimes. And I'm not Japanese, by the way, even though my name here is Akira Sensei. I am from the US, and I live right now in Minnesota in the US. Hokkaido Gaming, konnichiwa. Yeah, let's go to that Forest of Silence, exactly. Seijaku no Mori. That word for silence, have we learned that yet? If not, now is the time. We're in the Forest of Silence. Let's power up with the power of silence. I believe this is a word you see all the time in Ace Attorney, from what I recall, because the judge would always yell out, "Silence! Silence! Seijaku!" Let's see if we've learned that. I bet we probably have, because it is common, but maybe not. Let's see. Sweet. We have not learned it. If we learned it, it would turn up green as a duplicate. Let's change, though, to the more standard reading. Seijaku. In fact, I think if I copy that, it'll copy correctly. Let's try that again. There we go. Nice. I didn't know you could actually highlight the furigana on that dictionary, so that works well. Sweet. So we've powered up now with the power of this silent forest. We have learned the word for forest already. Mori. One of my favorite kanji, because it's just 3 trees together makes a forest.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
Scouter says power level's going up. Press the wrong button. I never know the right buttons in this game. I just wanted to show one of my favorite kanji. The word for forest. Just 1 tree. That's not enough. That's just 1 tree. Add another tree. Add another tree. And then you have forest. It's not the best drawing of it, but you get the idea. Mori, forest. Just a great kanji to kind of teach you the concept of kanji and why it's good. I don't know about you, but when I read about forests in Japanese, there's something about seeing kanji like this and other kanji about nature that for me feels a bit immersive in a way. I feel more like I'm in a forest in a way than I do with reading about just like the word forest, just the characters in English. Maybe it's just me, but anyway, let's go and see what we see. Uh-oh. Forest of Silence not doing so well in some spots.
なあ、ここにベロニカがいるのか？どこにも見当たらないぜ。
Na, Kokuni. So here, Koko is here. Veronica ga iru no ka? Is Veronica here? Doko ni mo miyataranai. I don't see her anywhere. This word, miyataru. To see something, to see someone. That might be a new word. That could be a word we could add here if someone wants to power us up with a new word there. This one may very well be new.
ここは子供の時から私とお姉様がよく一緒に遊んでいた場所なんです。ここにいると思ったのですが。
Nice is a new word, and the way it's translated there is to be found. So I'm not able to find her here. I don't see her here. So now she's describing this place. So koko wa, so this place, from when we were kids. This is a very useful little phrase here. Kodomo no toki. You can kind of remember that as a unit. Kodomo means child. Kodomo no toki, as a child. And this you can kind of remember as a unit too. So from when I was a child. So kodomo no toki kara. So from when I was a child, with my sister, we would often play here. So yoku means often. And what would she do often? Issho ni asobu. Play together. Issho ni, together. Asobu. We'd play together. And yeah, it's a place, a basho we'd often play together. Ah, konnichiwa. Atsui desu ne. Yeah, it's become hot here too. How's everyone doing? Are you keeping cool? Ohayo. Good to see everyone. Koko ni iru to omotta. So omo is to think. So this is the past form of to think. So I thought my sister was here. Desu ka. But it seems like she's not. Nice. Anki can keep you cool. The other day we learned some cold words. Maybe learn some cold words that can keep you cool. Like ice cubes in your mind. At least that's the theory. Language can be powerful.
お姉様、お姉様、どこにいるのですか？
Sister, where are you?
あら、お姉様、こんなところにいらしたのですね。
Ah, sister, so you're over there.
起きてください、お姉様。風邪をひいてしまいますわ。
Wake up. You'll catch a cold. So you can see kaze there, the word for cold.
お姉様、どうしてしまったの？
I'm not going to say one-sama each time because it sounds kind of weird in English. So I'm just going to say, what happened? Fine, I'll say it. Sister, what happened? 何？
お姉様の杖が光っている。それから勇者の紋章も。
Interesting. So in Japanese, the voice, she said, the hero's symbol, the hero's crest is glowing. But in the text, it just says our name. Again, I'm Akira Sensei, so the name is Akira for this character. And it doesn't say the monsho, it says the te, so your hand is glowing. Interesting, that's a very different phrase that basically means the same thing. Oneisa no tsue. So her wand, here's the word for wand. We probably learned that back when we played Harry Potter in Japanese. And what's the wand doing? Tsue ga hikatteru. The wand is glowing. And we got a new word, catch a cold. A new phrase actually, kaze o hiku, to catch a cold. Good word. Common phrase anyway. Good ad.
お願いです。こちらの杖に触れてみてください。もしかしたら。
Huh. So yeah, maybe this is like a situation where like you touch the world tree root, you can like see memories. Maybe we can do that here too. So, onegai desu. So I have a request for you. Can you touch this wand again? Tsue ni furete mite kudasai. So please touch this wand. Fureru can mean to touch, and that may be a word we don't have. That could be a word we add if it's new. Moshikashira, so it could be that something will happen. Maybe you'll see some memory, because that's what usually happens when this thing glows. Ooh, sweet, new word. Power level going up. Let's make our power level go up. So this word here, fureru. Fureru. To touch, to feel. In that case, it was touching the wand, and we just did that, and now this is what we see. This is what's happening. So what's happening? Ano toki no joukei ga yomigaeru. So the scene at that time is being revived. It's coming back. We're seeing it now. This could be a new word. potentially. Yep, it is. So spectacle, sight, scene. So the scene at that time, we are seeing it now. So joke, spectacle, sight, scene. And then, yeah, I saw that word came up further down. Yomigaeru. We've learned before, but that means just to kind of, to be revived or to come back. And let's see what we see. The Tree of Life. So again, Inochi, life, Taiju, the great tree, so the great tree of life, and this must be back when we faced Morrigan, the Dark Lord, and the tree of life was destroyed, so it must be just before that. Because she's saying, so something is happening to this tree of life. So at this rate, the world will... I think the Game Grammar talked about this issue yesterday. Mama. It basically means things continue in a certain way. So konomama means at this rate, the world will... ... Something not good. So quick. If I don't do something, everyone will be killed. And yeah, I think in the comments here, right there, I believe on transitive and intransitive. So hayaku, quickly. So nantoka shinai to. So if I don't do something. So suru is to do, shinai to means if I don't do something. This nantoka is kind of something. So if I don't do something, minna, everyone, and this is the passive form. We got a dragon! We might need it because we're kind of in a tough situation right now. Thank you very much for the sub. Ooh, resub times, what is that, times 11? Sugoi. Hontou ni arigatou. Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. After watching Game Grammar explain Mama yesterday, I saw it like 10 times in my immersion. Yeah, it's a thing that you see really a lot. So yeah, check out Game Grammar. They do some great great teaching videos. I can't speak English, but yeah, let's say great teaching videos, great explanation videos for different aspects of the Japanese language. And you can start from the beginning if you want to on YouTube as well. So check out Game Grammar, another channel here, also on YouTube. By the way, we're also on YouTube. I haven't updated it for a little while though. So if I don't do something, everyone will be yarareta. Everyone will be killed, basically. Whoa. So we're all like knocked out. She's the only one left. Why? Is she like the most powerful? I guess maybe magically she is.
私はどうなってもいい。みんな絶対に生き延びて、あいつから世界を救ってちょうだい。
悲しいね。そうですね。 Kanashi. Watashi wa dou natte mo ii. So watashi, me, dou natte mo, no matter what happens to me, it's okay. I don't care. I don't care what happens to me. Minna, again, it's about minna. It's about these people. Minna. Everyone. Welcome, yokoso, Japanese Castaway. So yeah, I'm a Japanese teacher. Anyone new, if you want to follow, become a party member as well, this is what we do. We learn Japanese in context from Japanese games. And why do we do it? Because it's fun. That's why. So yeah, it's a win-win. The game is fun, the language is fun, put them together. More fun, let's go. And what's happening? So minna, again, everyone, zettai ni ikinobite. So ikinobiru is to survive. I want everyone to survive. That's really what it's about. This word, ikinobiru. It's in the te form. And then, aitsu kara sekkai o sukutte chodai. And then they can save the world from you, from this Dark Lord. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. We've been doing it for a while now, but we were on a break for a while. We started in 2018. So, all the words we learned in past streams on our journey, you can see here. Some good foundational vocab in Japanese. Words like yasumu, to take a rest, very important for learning too. And new words we find in the game, we're going to put up here. Anyone can add new words. In the level up section on the Twitch page, you can see that. And yeah, but the main thing is just kind of relax, have fun, ask questions, answer questions, chill. And learn some Japanese on the way. But really, more than anything, just go on a journey. Have some fun, kind of like a field trip through Japanese games. Let's go. Also, at the bottom there, let's save the world. Whoa. Wait, so she like teleported everyone. I didn't even know she had that spell. Huh. So, Serena, my sister, she's calling out to. Matta itsuka. Again, someday. Onaji ha no moto ni. So, the same leaf again. So, these leaves are like their lives in this world. They're each kind of a leaf of the world tree. So, someday again, let's be born together with the same leaf. So, maybe we can become twins together. We can be reincarnated again someday. And Akira no koto tanonda wayo. So I leave the hero, I leave Akira, the hero's name in this game, because that's my name. I leave the hero to you. Kanashi ne. We got this chip earlier. Why did we get this chip? Did we get a Dorito, or were you suggesting we should learn the sentence? We used to use Doritos. When someone would do a Dorito, that would mean it's time to learn the sentence. We would write it in chat. We've kind of stopped doing it because it would slow things down so much, but it could be fun to do it once in a while. Oh no, I think it was more because ID was sad, so they got a Dorito. I see now what's going on. That's a good idea. Give people Doritos, they'll feel a bit better. Hey. Kanashi. So it looks like she sacrificed herself for all of us, and we didn't even know. One-sama. Sister. And it's a respectful way to talk to her sister because she's saying sama. Watashi tachi yo, so all of us. So o makes the object everyone. Tachi means all of us. Watashi would just be me. So me and all of us. Taskeru, to save. So she saved in order to save all of us. Tameni kind of means in order to. So in order to save all of us, ... The kind of implied thing here is she sacrificed her life for all of us. A lot of times things are implied in Japanese. You don't need to say it. Eh? 消えちゃった. 消える disappear, so 消えた looks like she disappeared. That maybe means she's a Jedi or a wizard. I don't know. It's kind of Jedi-like. I like Star Wars, so I imagine Yoda disappearing. Similar fashion. She must be a Jedi. Jedi, basically wizards. Anyway, sorry, it's a sad moment.
ベロニカちゃん、あなた最後の力を振り絞って私たちのことを。
Okay. So again, Sylvia too is saying here what happened. Veronica-chan. Anata, so what you did. Saigo no chikara. Your last bit of power. Saigo is last. And then this could be a new word. Furishiboru. It's to kind of ring out, to use the last little bit of your power. And then you use that to save us. And the way that it's said here is just Watashi tachi no koto o. And again, implied here is you saved us. Kanashi ne. Yeah, it's true. It's true. New word. I thought we probably hadn't learned it. So to use one's full power to muster all of your strength. Furishiboru. Good word. That's what she did. So I'll ask chat this one. This is an easy sentence. Just one word. How would you translate this sentence? You are free to translate it the way you want, but even if you don't know the language, I'm guessing you can guess. He just hit the tree. He says, Kuso! You can probably guess what that means. I don't think I need to say it. Yep, probably a pretty good translation there. There's other options. He's not happy.
Veronica.
Kanashine. Yep, there's another option. Yeah, this is Griffin Sensei, so say hello to Griffin Sensei. Griffin Sensei was the first party member on Japanese Quest when we started. So thank you for saying hello to the kitty. And do you attend some additional Japanese lessons, or is it purely from games? I don't know what that means. Do I attend Japanese lessons? I'm a Japanese teacher, and I teach Japanese here through games. Do I teach other Japanese lessons on here? Right now, purely through games in context, if that's what your question is. As for attending Japanese lessons, I did, many years ago, take college Japanese lessons for 2 years, and I lived in Japan for 2 years. But mostly I'm self-taught, teaching myself with things like flashcards, but mainly just reading a lot and exposing yourself to a lot of Japanese. That's the key, and then just, yeah, do it every day. And, I mean, in a sense, yeah, we're all learners, so I am learning. But I am a Japanese teacher, a licensed Japanese teacher, so I've taught Japanese in high school, junior high, a number of other settings. And so, yeah, we are here to learn together and to teach Japanese through Japanese games. That's what we do. But yeah, I'm a professional Japanese teacher and translator. Have done both of those professionally, so that's what we do. That's what we do here through games.
若い者ばかり死に急ぎよって。
So wakai means young, So wakai mono bakari. So it kind of means it's just young people keep dying quickly. Isogi is to hurry, and then shi means death. So shi ni isogi yotte. So these young people keep dying early death, and I keep on living. To put this in context, his daughter died, his son-in-law died, he thought his grandson died. That's us, the main character. Luckily, we came back, but he thought we were dead for 16 years. We're not. But he's been through a lot. But yeah, the learning, it never stops. Even if you're a native speaker of English, the
お
learning,
姉様は
it keeps going. That's the fun of the journey.
いない。どこにもいないのですね。
The journey, it never ends. Even when the journey ends, it doesn't end. For Veronica too, might seem like her journey ended, didn't end. It keeps going. Keeps going through the people that keep carrying on, and who knows, she might be somewhere continuing the journey too. The journey never ends. It keeps going. That's the fun of it. It always changes. You learn things here and there. That's what we do. Okay. お姉様はもういない. So that's a sad realization. My sister is no longer here. どこにもいないのですね. So yeah, she is nowhere. どこにも nowhere. 悲しいね. Keep saying that word. Anyone want to write the word too? The word for sad? It's kind of a sad scene. We've learned the word here. We don't need it as a new word, but it might be new for a lot of people. 悲しい. You can see it in the face. 悲しいね. Just means
これ
sad.
がお姉様の選んだことなら、私は全てを受け止めます。
There we go. Thanks for writing it. We got a new party member joining at kind of a sad time, but that's an important time to have new party members too. We can have new party members join us during these sad times too. So, yokoso. Japanese castaway, welcome. And by the way, there is another kanji for sad as well that has a bit of a more of a nuance for like a kind of lonely sadness. But this is kind of the most common one that ID wrote here, so thanks for writing that. Okay. So korega, so if this is what my sister wanted, we got Cyber Jockey, we got another new party member, let's go. By the way, all these new party members are kind of joining us here on this journey. We're all together on this journey. Where will the journey go? I don't know, we'll find out, but either way, our power level will go up in the game, in Japanese, maybe in English, maybe in other ways. We will see. That's the fun about a journey. You don't know what you're gonna see. Okay, これがお姉様の選んだ. So 選ぶ is the key verb here, to choose. So if this is what my sister chose, 選んだことなら, so if this is what she chose, 私は全てを受け止めます. So I will take on everything. I will take on what she chose. よろしくね. はい。よろしくお願いします. Yeah, welcome. Good to have you aboard. Yeah, from the beginning we've been saying everyone who follows is a party member, and I don't know, it's a little cheesy maybe in a way, but I like it. I like the idea that we have all these party members that, even if maybe they just joined for a short time, and they're like, I don't know, behind like a rock, say, and they just like, they join and they check us out once or twice. I like the idea that for a brief moment at least, and beyond, they're always our party member. They're on this journey with us, and it's up to them how long they want to join us on this journey. But imagine a role-playing game with thousands of party members, all of them leveling up at their own pace, but for a brief moment at least, joining together on this journey. In games, in language. I don't know. Kind of cool idea. And we got another party member. So, yokoso. Japanese Questaway. A lot of new party members today. Welcome. Alright, let's see where we are. So we got some new words. We saw in the game here. Any party member here can level us up in Japanese, and then our power level goes up. Let's make it go up. We forgot to raise it for a while, so let's see our new power level. The goal, of course, is over 9,000, which is fluency in a language. The research shows that's about how many words you need to be fluent in a language. Just happens to work out for us. So our goal is over 9,000 right now. We're over a third of the way there. So, with your help, we can get there someday. Uketomeru. It can mean to catch, it can mean to stop the blow, but it also can mean to react, to take on. So basically, what she means here, if you decided that you will sacrifice yourself for all of us and entrust us with saving the world, like, I will take all that on. In your place, I will protect the hero, and I will help save the world. This is just such a great streaming idea. Glad you like it. Sa. Ishoni. Level up shou. Let's level up together. In the game. In Japanese, in English, maybe if you're learning English. Some people here are. Yeah, we can do all that.
お父様とお母様と里の皆様にもきちんとお伝えしなければ。
Oh no, this is gonna be brutal. So we better go back to the village and no, this is bad. Oto-sama, her father, her mother, everyone in the town. Let's tell everyone that my sister, and before they were saying like their angel is dead. Highly debated topic. Let's see it. I know this is highly debated, but do you believe RTK is necessary to understand and learn kanji? Yeah, no, not at all. Definitely not necessary. Do you recommend learning words instead? Yeah, I often mention as the number one thing, learn words, learn kanji, and the reading in context. So I recommend learn words. RTK, definitely not necessary. I'd say it's an optional thing that can be very helpful for some people, so it may be worth looking into. In my own situation, my own learning journey, like I did flashcards, so I would learn kanji in the context of words. That's what I recommend doing. And for me, the first 1,000 kanji or so, I learned like that in the context of words. And then I passed N2 and kind of stopped studying so much for a while, but then I got serious and I realized I want to read Japanese books, I want to be completely bilingual. So then I did use RTK. And I liked the book. I went through it, I plowed through it in just a month. Like, it was easy for me because I already knew it, like half the kanji. I was pretty familiar with a lot of kanji already. And so then I got to about the full RTK, which is 2,200, I believe, is the current round number of kanji in RTK. And I even liked it so much, I did the extra book that went, I think, 3,000 plus kanji. That's how much I liked the book. This second book to 3,000, I actually don't really recommend, to be honest. I think it might have been a waste of time. But I liked the process at the time so much, I thought, I'll just do the rest of the one for like another month, boom, done. I think that was not needed, to be honest. But for me, it was very worth it for me to do RTK. Just because I had 1,000 kanji, I wanted some system to learn all of them, or most of the ones that you need. I forgot most of the stories I made now, but that framework of kind of, I don't know, the biggest thing RTK did for me, I kind of went from hating kanji for a long time to just loving kanji. And loving learning new kanji. And kanji went from being my like enemy in Japanese and like a barrier to being my greatest ally. Suddenly I can learn words much more quickly because of kanji. Kanji become your friend. I often talk about this weird kind of example from Dragon Ball. Vegeta, the greatest villain in Dragon Ball, but he becomes your greatest ally. Kanji's kind of like Vegeta. They start out being your greatest enemy, but later they become your greatest ally. Kanji are kind of like Vegeta in that way. But yeah, RTK, totally optional. But for me, I found very helpful at a certain point on my journey, and that will depend on you if it's ever useful. It might never be useful for you. It depends. But most people I know who try it, quit it after getting 300, 400, 500 kanji. They don't finish the book. But I think even then, learning the system of it might be helpful. For me, I plowed through it and did all 2,000, 3,000 actually, but everyone will find their own way of... Everyone's journey is different, so it's up to you. But I think in general, learn kanji in context, the context of words. That's more useful than just learning all of them individually. Yeah, I'd say in a month I more did like the 2,000, but keep in mind, like I already knew 1,000 kanji, so I was doing it pretty much full time, and I already knew a lot of kanji, so people have different amount of time they have different things they already know, so yeah. Okay, so where were we here? So yeah, I've got to tell my mom and everyone else about the news that my sister has died. And ooh, we got a new word. So, what does it say here? Let's look in context how this word is used. Kichinto otsutai shinakareba. So I've got to tell everyone properly. So properly, accurately, exactly. Good new word. So let's properly, in detail, tell everyone about what happened. Sounds good. And by the way, IDJ, when you said that, like, you're bringing up something controversial, I was thinking it would be something much more controversial. That's not that controversial, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, like, not everyone likes remembering the kanji. It is kind of controversial, so you're right. But I was thinking, I was bracing for something that would be a tougher topic. We talk about RTK all the time, so that's a good question. It's fine. No problem at all. Since I did remember the kanji, it comes up a lot. In fact, I can show you the book right here. It's right behind me. Let's see where it is. Remembering the kanji, the reason it's good, the guy who made this book, he knew no Japanese, he knew no kanji, and he realized the system that at that time existed, I think it was like the 80s or something, there was no good system to learn them. So he made a system. Each kanji learned through stories using the components in that kanji. And he learned all the kanji in 1 month. Making his own system. And so all he did is publish that system for other people. It might not work well for everyone, but for him it worked, for other people it's worked. And so it's just a tool that people can use if you find it useful. I think probably someday a much better system, or a somewhat better system, might be made, and there are already variants that might be better. You can look into those too. But still, just having a complete course on all the kanji, the meaning and how to write them. Notice those two things in bold. It's not everything. You don't have the reading. You don't learn the reading, how to say the word in Japanese. You don't learn that. And because of that, a lot of people hate this book. But to be honest, it's still great. Because if you get the meaning and how to write it, suddenly you pretty much have like what Chinese people have and why they can learn Japanese so much faster and read Japanese so much faster. They know the kanji, they know the meaning of the kanji, they can write the kanji, they can read the kanji. It makes it so much faster. So this book can take you to the level, in a way, of like a Chinese person, and those advantages you can have. So that's why I highly recommend it. But again, not for everyone. Do your own research. But I recommend like reading the foreword of that book. It makes a pretty good case for why it worked very well for the author and can work well for some other people. Alright, so where are we? Now... Ooh, this is getting heavy again. So, Seichi Ramura ni Morori. So go back to that town, the holy town of Ramura. Beiranaka no saigo o. So, notice saigo means the last. So it means her last moment before she died. Minna ni tsutayo. So tell everyone about that. Yeah, mnemonics, they can really help. So yeah, here's one person who loves RTK. You may love it, you may not love it, but the fact remains, it's helped many people learn the kanji, which is often, the kanji are often the biggest barrier to learning and reading Japanese. So in that sense, RTK has done a great service to the world. Alright, so let's see. I mean, even if you don't like RTK, like the idea of learning kanji through stories can be very helpful just for anyone, really. Yeah, and again, my number one advice is not RTK. My number one advice is, like you said, learn kanji in the context of words. Because really what you want to learn is words, not just individual kanji. Because words are what you see when you read. Like, yeah, you see kanji, but usually words are like 2 kanji. Or 3 kanji, or kanji and some kana. Sometimes you can see a word is just 1 kanji, but that reading too can change depending on various factors sometimes, not for this particular one maybe. But yeah, good discussion and good question. That's the kind of question we like. Yeah, the good thing about that, with just focusing on purely how to write them, how to read them, and and the meaning, you can just learn all the kanji very quickly. And then, when you learn words, and the readings of words, it's just a multiplier for how fast you can learn everything. Because, I know that kanji, boom, easy. It makes it so much easier. But again, the main thing is you do want to learn kanji in the context of words. But having a system like RTK can help for a lot of people too. Okay, so where are we? Let's not teleport by accident. That would not be cool. Is there anything else here? In this forest of silence? Yeah, learning words is the way to go. I mean, when you boil it down, all languages, if you really want to learn a language, when you really get right down to it, let's be honest, it's about learning words. The more words you know, the more you can understand. Period. And that's why the main focus on this channel has become words. Find new words. Literally, not literally, but I don't know, some kind of ly. In a very real way anyway, your power level does go up in that language. Like imagine you just have a slider, or like, imagine suddenly you know 10,000 Japanese words. Just imagine that's the case. Imagine you know no grammar, nothing else about Japanese, but just say, boom. You can now read and hear and understand 10,000 Japanese words. You could understand a lot, simply through the words. The grammar would start to work itself out in your mind too, because you'd see all these words next to each other, you'd realize, that must mean this, that must mean that. You start to work out the grammar. So really, vocab is huge. And it can help you with everything else. Whoa, we don't have this word yet? Really? Okay. So, Saigo, yeah, so it's probably a different Saigo than we have learned before. So one's last moment, one's death, one's end. So let's talk about her death, her end to the village. Thanks for adding that, actually. I wouldn't have thought to add that. Let's look at the dictionary, actually, for fun. Why? Because that's the kind of journey we're on. Dictionaries are fun. Saigo. So end, conclusion. Notice a different kanji there for this Saigo. So different kanji here, and let's break down why. So this kanji here means a time period. So the final moment in someone's life. Because this kanji means the utmost, the most, extreme. So the extreme time, Saigo. One's last moments, one's death, one's end. By the way, this pop-up you're seeing is from Rikai-kun, a Google Chrome plugin, very useful. This word, Saigo, last, is more common. End forward, common word. This one's a common word too, but this one's even more common. This one we probably have learned. Let's just double check. Copy that with the Rikai-kun tool and paste it. Yep, see that one turned green, this one did not. So that one was a duplicate. Sweet. Let's go back to the game.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
Wait a minute, I keep forgetting to make our power level go up. Look at our power level in the bottom right. It is now going up to 3,133. Sanzen. 133. 強くなったね。Yeah, I do recommend writing kanji though as you learn them, at least once or twice, because just to get a feel for the kanji, to get a feel for the stroke order, can really help you learn the kanji at a deeper level. So even though I don't necessarily recommend learning to write all of them unless you're into that, at least writing them a few times can be a great habit to get into. And one app I recommend for that is the Kanji Study app. Very good app. Kanji Study app. A great app for writing kanji on the screen. So check out that app if you're into kanji. The first 80 kanji on there are free. It's a pay app after that, but it's so good that I did pay for it. It's a very good app, Kanji Study, worth checking out. It often also gets updated a lot, which is also cool. Alright, so... Okay, so her death was relayed to the people in this town. And then her funeral was held. Looks like on that same day.
世界中の命の象徴たる命の大樹よ。このラムダの地で生まれた若き命がまた一つ散ってゆきました。
You can see this is a very sad moment. Sometimes on chat, I take a break and challenge people. Do you think you can translate this? And we'll see if you're right when I come back. So I will say, Japanese Quest will be right back after a short break. So BRB. Anyone want to try? See if you can translate that. Obviously a very emotional moment during this funeral. So let's see. Itakimasu, Japanese Quest will be back after a short break. Then our power level will continue to go up. Tadaima. Alright, let's do this. Where are we here? Naruhodo. Someone try for some translations? Let me scroll up a bit and see. He looks good. Yeah, I see some good translations up there. Yeah, he's praying a long time. Let's see what we got. Sekaiju, so all around the world. So now we're gonna see, so what is all around the world? Sekaiju no inochi. So lives all around the world, and then we have another no, so that's something else being modified. Shocho. So it's basically saying a symbol. Good word here. Have we learned this word symbol? I think we probably have. Maybe not though. So this symbol of all lives around the world. The tree of life. So yeah, this Tadu here kind of just connects these, saying, so the symbol that is the tree of life. Kono nabura no chi de umareta wakaki no chi ga matta hitotsu chitte yukimashita. So again, a life that was born here in this land, this town of Ramuda. This young life, again, has fallen. But look at the word that's used for fallen. I watched the newest episode of One Piece yesterday, and I don't want to spoiler, but spoiler alert, someone died. Anyway, and or at least someone died at some point in the story, and they used this word as well. Let's look that word up and think about why was it used. Shiru. To fall. Like for a cherry blossom, flowers or leaves. To scatter, to be dispersed. To disappear. To spread. Or to die a noble death. It's basically saying people falling like cherry blossoms. In this case, maybe like she fell like a leaf of the world tree. Because literally in this game, leaves of the world tree are lives. And those leaves fell, and she also did die a noble death. It's a good word to look at here.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
Scatter says power level is going up. And yeah, if we have more new words, we can add them up here. Whoops. The fire makes it hard to see my pointer here. Let's add some new words here when we get a chance. Let's make this power level go up. Even in death, we can level up.
願わくば双剣の姉妹の片葉ベロニカの魂が帰るべき場所命の大樹のもとへ召され新たな葉として芽吹かんことを
Okay, so one of the sisters, the Sage Sisters, and she is one of the leaves of this, the two of them who are twins. So her tamashi, so we're talking about her soul. Veronica no tamashi, tamashi is soul. And so where her soul is going back, she is going back to the world tree And so hoping she can go back as another leaf. Because that's kind of their religion, their worldview is you're a leaf, so imagine this is you, right? You're a leaf. One day, the leaf falls. You die. But you can be reborn again as another leaf. That's what he's praying for here. And let's be happy because you're back as another leaf. Not so bad.
皆様、本日は私の姉ベロニカのためにお集まりくださり本当にありがとうございます。
Was there a question about why there's spaces? Yeah, well, I mean, why do you think there's spaces? Makes it a lot easier to read, don't you think? Why are there spaces in English? Same basic idea. Although, yeah, there aren't often spaces in Japanese generally, but when there are, it can make things more readable. And also other different types of pronunciation. For Japanese, no space is more readable. Not always. I mean, that's why they put spaces in the game, to make certain things easier to parse. It's the same idea where I sometimes give commas and things too, to make things easier to parse. Same basic principle. So we have kata, one side. Yep, but again, it's not really a universal. Alright, so kata means one side. Someone added that. Looks good. Like we saw kataha. So she is one side of the leaf with her sister, who was the other side of the leaf. Because leaves, again, are lives in this universe. And this side of the leaf has fallen. Yeah, I'm not reacting because you just keep saying the same thing. It's not like you've made your point. You don't like spaces. We move on. I don't respond to most comments, in fact,
世界中の
because
命を
we're
救う
moving
ために
forward here.
己の身を顧みず最後まで勇者様を守り抜きました。
Okay. 姉は世界中の命を Okay, so my sister, for all the lives in the world, so we have again inochi, lives, and not just any life, all the lives around the world. Suku tameni, so to save all the lives in the world. She didn't worry about her own safety. And saigo made, until her death, Yusha-sama o mamori nukimashita. She protected the hero.
皆様、命の大樹のところへ召される魂のため、どうか髪を一房聖なる火に手向けてくださいませ。
Konnichiwa. We got a new party member. Let's go. By the way, anyone, we just took a break, so I should probably say it again. What is this channel? Well, I'm a Japanese teacher. My name is Akira Sensei. I've taught high school Japanese. I'm a licensed Japanese teacher in the US. I've taught some college, taught some Japanese language immersion camp. I've also translated professionally. What we do here, we learn Japanese through Japanese games in context. That's what we do. So if you're into that, you can follow as well and become a party member on this journey. The whole journey is to relax, learn some Japanese, have some fun. That's about it. So minasama, everyone. So again, so for these souls that were taken back to the world tree, I will offer a tuft of hair. Clem, new party member, sweet. So what's she saying here? Kami o hito fusa. So what is fusa? Fusa is like a tuft of something. Hito means one. So sei naru hi ni teimukete kudasai. So put a tuft of hair in the holy flame for all these souls that have been called back to the world tree. Ah, konnichiwa. Good to see you. Let's scroll down our new words. We can get some more new words later.
Veronica, 私の天使よ。私を置いて行ってしまうなんて。
So this is her parents. Understandably not super happy. So watashi no tenshi yo. My angel. Tenshi. Angel. So leaving us and you went away. Just in chat, not really an argument worth having over spaces, not spaces, are they good? Just seems like a pretty low-level argument. I mean, we're talking about spaces. Who cares? So, Veronica, you went before us.
Veronica, こんな別れあんまりよ。あんまりだわ。
So wakare, parting, it's just difficult. It's hard to say goodbye.
セーニャはしっかりしたもんだけど、ご両親のあの悲しみよときたら、かわいそうで見てられないよ。
Gambare to you as well. That's what we do here. I found over time the best thing this stream does, if anything. For some people, not everyone, but for some people it seems to serve as a kind of place to be motivated and feel like they're not alone in their Japanese journey. So I say the same thing to you, brother. Thanks for saying hello. And yeah, for everyone, wherever you are on your Japanese journey, for a moment we can kind of be together on this journey and encourage each other. Because really the key is just in finding what you enjoy and just keep doing that. We always talk about mainichi, mainichi. Every day. Find something that you like enough that you want to do it every day. And you do that, it kind of becomes easy. Like you'll kind of automatically learn the language if you just expose yourself to it every day. And so yeah, I echo what brother says. Minna, ganbaro. Let's do it. Alright, so where are we here? Kanashi ne. Kawaisou. So yeah, it's hard to watch her parents because they're so... It's so sad.
皆様にお話があります。どうぞ大聖堂の方へお越しください。
So everyone, I have something to talk with you about. Could you come to the great cathedral and I guess we'll hear something. What do you think about this guy's hat? I think we should take a moment to think about the hat situation here. Not a bad hat. You think? Anyone cosplaying as this guy? All you gotta do is make a really cool hat. I think it's doable. It is a good hat. Alright, so where are we here? Let's save. In other words, let's pray. Because in this game, you pray to save. Seems right to pray after that funeral as well. I'm curious too, like, do they have weapons here? They might have some good weapons in this town. We should maybe check it out. This town is holy after all. No weapons here, okay. Alright, so what are we doing now? Yeah, listen to this, the Elder. Let's go there and see what he's got to say. I think that must be up there. Sweet. Alright, let's see here. I get hiragana and katakana. I'm not sure I understand that comment, but I will say, for anyone just starting with Japanese, first step, learn hiragana, because then you can see how words are pronounced. It's a good first step. Second step, katakana can get you far in video games as well, because there's so many foreign words. With katakana, you can read a lot of foreign words, or at least try to sound them
お
out.
呼び立てしてすみませんでした。実はどうしても皆様にお伝えしたい話があったのです。
Okay, so sorry for calling you here, but actually I had something I needed to talk to you about. And yep, that's a great first step. Learn hiragana, learn some vocab, you're well on your way. Exactly, that's true of katakana too. We mentioned kanji can be your rival, but then your friend. Katakana is kind of like that too. Katakana though can be very quickly your best friend, because you can learn it in a day if you're really motivated, in a weekend perhaps. Kanji might take a little longer, but that can become your best friend as well.
皆様はもしかすると古の伝承の存在、神の乗り物を求めてこの地へいらしたのではないですか？
Yeah, the reason why spaces can help at times, and like I agree that the comments before, a lot of them were on point. Like usually you don't want spaces in Japanese, but there are times when spaces or some kind of punctuation can be helpful. If you sometimes have a long chain of hiragana, even for native speakers, that can be confusing to parse sometimes. So once in a while, if it's not a space, oftentimes some kind of punctuation will be used. And that's the kind of case where some kind of a space in a game like this can be helpful. Like, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hiragana in a row. That's kind of too many hiragana in a row. Not saying it would be hard to read necessarily, but if you have some kind of parsing mechanism, it makes it a bit easier to read and parse, so that's kind of all it is. But it's true, I think sometimes having more spaces could potentially make it harder to read too, and it probably also depends on the person. So, minasama wa moshikasu, so it could be that all of you... Right, you are looking for this holy chariot or this holy vehicle. Literally what we're seeing here. Kami, God, norimono. So this god vehicle or this god airship, we'll have to find out what it is. You are looking for that. That's why you came here. That's right. Right, and I think it's a bit different than severe in English too. Oftentimes you see a word like that in katakana, you think it's the same as in English, but oftentimes it's not. It's a bit different.
なぜそのことを
How do you know that? And actually, usually this is translated as why. Naze? Why? Why? Why do you know how we got here? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Baby car. Of course it's a stroller. You saw that in NHK Easy? Yeah, by the way, good shout out for that great reading website. For about N3 level or so, maybe N4, maybe N2, great reading content. Baby car. This stroller? Yeah. Yeah, check out the link. NHKZ News, great site for learning Japanese because it's updated. Isn't it updated almost every day or at least every weekday? Great reading. Although I've heard some people get bored of it, I recommend if you get bored of that, read manga. The pictures help for context, the reading often has furigana. So switch between NHKZ and manga. That's the way to get started reading, in my opinion. Yeah, and not just that, optional furigana. It's a great, great website. Although right now I've heard it's kind of heavy on COVID news, just like Japanese news in general. Yeah, exactly, like Unboxes just said. You can become a COVID in Japan expert, but they must have other articles too. I don't read it so much these days, but...
先日私は胎児の神託と思われるある夢を見たのです。
So recently I had a dream that seemed like a vision from the world tree. And we got this word here. Densho. A legend, something to be handed down. So we are this hero of legend, and we want this legendary, holy airship. And he saw that in a dream, I guess.
その夢の中で勇者様と聖ニャは何やら白く大きなものに乗って空に浮かぶ不思議な島に降り立っていました。
Interesting. Okay. So, その夢. So in that dream. その夢の中で. So inside that dream. Naka means inside. So inside that dream, the hero and Serena were doing something. What were they doing? They were... Shiroku okina mono ni notte. So we were riding on some kind of white, big mono thing. We were riding on some big thing in the sky. So sora means sky, sora ni ukabu. So we were rising in the sky on some big white thing, and we were landing on some strange island. Fushigana Shimani. So Fushigi, strange, Shima island, landing there. Interesting.
空に浮かぶ島だって。
Huh. An island floating in the sky. Yep, so here we see Sora ni ukabu. To float in the sky. And what is it? Shima, an island floating in the sky. We got a new party member. Welcome to Nuja Bears. Let's go.
しかしベロニカの姿だけ見えなかったので、ベロニカの身に何かあったのではとずっと心配していたのです。
Ah, so he kind of had a hint then that something might have happened. Shikashi. So, but in the dream, only Veronica was there. So, I was worried that something might have happened to Veronica. What's that word for worried? Shimpai. Shimpai shiteita. So I worried something might have happened to Veronica. And how do we say something happened to her? So Veronica no mi ni. So to her body, to her health. Veronica no mi ni nanika atta. I thought something may have happened to her.
嫌な予感はしていましたが、まさかこんな時にまで夢が現実になってしまうとは。
Ooh, we got a high-level reference that Callie and Kanji figured out and that Nuja Bears made. Apparently, Nuja Bears is a play on words on Nujabes. They did the music for Samurai Champloo. Great anime, by the way. I saw it a long time ago. But very cool. And thanks for figuring out the reference. I definitely did not know it. Nuhabes? My bad. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. In any case, so I had a bad feeling about it, but yeah, I cannot believe that this has become reality. She's really gone. Ah, it's a Spanish word? Well, in that case, I have no hope. Cold Bolts. Konnichiwa. Good to see you. As always. Ooh, nice. Jay, I've been watching your YouTube videos for a while, but finally made it to stream. Sweet. Good to see you. Good to see you live. I feel in this moment we are truly connecting as human beings. Why? Because now is now. And I'm talking, you're listening, you're typing, I'm seeing it. There's something about being in the same moment in time. We're all now at the present time. It's a good time. Let's go. I don't know, it's kind of like a cheesy thought, but I often feel like simply the fact that we all exist at the same moment right now means we have so much in common. Like, not only is our DNA almost exactly the same, like the fact that we're all alive and living the same moment and much less like in this same stream, we have so much in common. And I feel like we forget that sometimes. But it's cool to think about sometimes. Like, the fact that we're all living in the same moment in time means we have so much in common, and people act like they have so many differences, but really, like, to me, we're all kind of on the same journey, and we're all kind of nakama in my mind. So that's why it's easy to say, anyone who joins, we are all party members. We are all nakama on this journey on Japanese Quest, but really just in the world. We're all in the same... If you ever heard this before, spaceship Earth. This word that I think may have been coined by Bertrand Russell. No, not Bertrand Russell. What was it? Buckminster Fuller? Anyway, someone. One of those guys. we're all on this spaceship Earth, right? We've got these continents. They're like kind of like different rooms. If you like, on this spaceship, you like my Earth drawing? It's very well done. And like all of us we are the crew of this spaceship, so we kind of have to work together because we are all on this spaceship. We've got to work on making the spaceship as good as possible. Someday, maybe, we'll get so good we can like install an engine on this spaceship. We can fly around other spaceships. I don't know. It's maybe like a long-term goal. I'm not sure if that would be good. We can research it. We can make up shields, turn them on and off. We have a shield. It's called the ozone layer, the atmosphere. Anyway, we're all on this spaceship Earth, spinning through the universe. And I think because of that, we kind of have to stick together, help each other out. So that's what we're doing on this journey. We are on this spaceship Earth and connecting some of these people through this Japanese quest. The journey continues in the game. The journey continues in the real world as well on this big spaceship. Let's enjoy it. Please let me undo all this. Please let me undo everything. Please. Oh no, I can't undo all of it. The spaceship Earth was too powerful. Let's remake a new thing then. Don't save. Maybe I should have saved that spaceship Earth, but no, it was not good enough trying. Let's make a new one. Make sure we can draw again. Can we draw again? Yes, we can. We're back. Yep, that's the name. Buckminster Fuller had a lot of great ideas. Spaceship Earth was one of them. Another one that I liked, it was weird, like, I had all these ideas I thought independently, but then I, like, Googled the ideas, and this dude, Buckminster Fuller, like, had all of them before me. Spaceship Earth is one of them. I was like, oh, it's such a good idea. Let's Google it. Nope, he had the idea already. The other one was, like, the World Game. I had this idea, too. Basically, it's a game where, we get points throughout the world by doing different things kind of as everyone in the world. So it's kind of like Spaceship Earth. I looked that up. He had these ideas too. So yeah, I'm into this guy. And especially as he has this idea, Trim Tab, that this is an idea I did not have, but Trim Tab, he has on his gravestone, I believe, call me Trim Tab. So this is his big thing. It's on his grave. And the idea is we can all be a Trim Tab. What's that mean? Well, we're talking about a big airship. I think big airships might have them. So imagine this big airship. It's so heavy, one person, you can't really move it. But maybe you can if you become a Trim Tab. So you have this rudder, but even on that you have like just a little piece of trim. Just this tiny Trim Tab. If just that moves just a little bit, with the way thermodynamics works, it can move the entire giant system. It means any of us can become this Trim Tab. Like one little change can change the entire fate of the world, of the universe, maybe. So be this Trim Tab. That's what's on his tombstone, and that's kind of what I want to be, too. And that's what we can all kind of be. Become a Trim Tab. One small change can lead to other changes that can lead to changing big, giant systems. Let's do that. I'm imagining Akira Sensei explaining this to everyone at an actual funeral now. Yeah, it's kind of a good time to explain it since we're at a funeral. You could say Veronica. She was kind of a Trim Tab. One small life, one small leaf can change everything. And in a way, a leaf is kind of like Trim Tab if you think about it. We're getting kind of deep here today. Yeah, kind of a good moment. I like it. Alright, let's go. Sir Biddle, we got a new party member. Let's go.
ですが、夢の世界で見たその光景は私にある神話の一節を思い出させました。
Deska. So, but, This scene I saw in this world of dreams. I remembered a verse of the myth of this town. So let's look at some of those words. So Shinwa, myth, and then Shinwa no isetsu. So one verse of this myth I was reminded of.
ケトス、天高く空を駆け巡る神の使い、聖なる調べに導かれ、勇者のもとに降臨す。
Katos. Okay, so I think this is our vehicle. So flying from the heavens, God's servant, and yeah. So he can lead us coming down to the hero. This legendary airship or whatever it is.
夢に出てきたあの天の島こそ、勇者様が目指すべき地なのでしょう。
Oh, really?
そしてそこに導くは神の使いケトス。
Okay, so in my dream, Yume ni. So in a dream, so Yume is dream. And so what came out in the dream? Ten no Shima. This Shima, this island in the skies. Ten can mean heaven, can mean the skies too. So this island in the skies, that is where you should go. That is where the hero, all of us in this game, should go. The one who can lead you there? Ketosu.
私は今、里中の古文書をひっくり返し、このケトスについて調べております。何か分かったらご報告いたしましょう。
We got a new party member. Let's go. Yokoso. Japanese Festival. Alright, so now I'm going to research with all these books about this this legendary heavenly vehicle that can maybe take us to that sky island. If I understand something, I will tell you.
さあ、今日はもうお疲れでしょう。皆様のために宿を用意しておりますので、ひとまず宿屋でお休みくださいませ。
Okay, today you must be tired. We prepared the inn for you, so why don't you for now rest there. So some keywords here. Otsukare. So you must be tired. So yaroya de, so at the inn. Yaroya means inn, like an inn that you can sleep at, and then yaroya de oyasumi kudasai. So please sleep there, please rest there. Let's do it. This must be a town of peace, because I don't see weapons here. I kind of wish there were. Want to see what cool weapons they might have in like a final town type of place like this. Yeah, sure. We're here for questions always. That's what we do. Alright, so let's go to the inn. Hi. Yeah. I mean, the difference is that they're totally different. I don't know, that's my first thought. So yeah. the way I see it, kawaii, super cute. Obviously, most people know that one. But then something totally different. Kawaiso. So yeah, that's something. Oh no. Yeah, let's look at the dictionary actually. So yeah, poor, pitiable, pathetic. So yeah, it's often said when you kind of feel sorry for something. Poor thing. What a pity. And then kawaii, cute. So yeah, notice different kanji. Kawaiso, poor, pitiable, pathetic. But yeah, very good words to learn and a good question. It's the kind of great question that other people may find helpful as well, because both these words are very, very useful. Let's just make sure that we've learned these words too, because we just heard this word in the game. Yeah, good comment, brother. So here we have two kanji that are being compared by brother in the comments there. So we have the kanji for love, or kind of affection here, in kawaii, cute, or dear, or innocent. There's some different meanings for kawaii as well. And whereas here, it's almost an opposite meaning. Instead of love, we have here the kanji for pity, sorrow, grief, pathos. It can even be used for sadness, or kind of like a lonely sadness, kanashi. It's used for one of the readings of that too. So, yeah, good question. It's good to see the kanji, because that gives you kind of a hook to remember that word. Alright, let's go back to the game. Yeah, oftentimes, that's the thing about kanji. It starts out being confusing, but when you start learning more, those kanji start to be clues that really help you learn the words in a deeper way and help you remember them. Alright, so thanks for the comments, everyone. Both questions and answers all are helpful. Let's keep going here. Doko kara tomonaku, so from nowhere in particular. Tategoto no neiru ga kikoete kuru. So from nowhere in particular, we hear this harp, the melody from this harp. Yeah, and thanks everyone for answering too. It's good to get the answer from many different sources, because then you really get more of a full answer from many perspectives, and that's the great thing, the power of the community, really. I think the title today is Learn Japanese with Akira Sensei, that's me, but really that alone, one Japanese teacher, no matter how good they are of a teacher, in my opinion, I'm a pretty good teacher, but it's just one perspective. And anyone, what they know, what they teach, might not be the way someone else learns all the time. So having all these different perspectives is very helpful. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, we got a new word. Neiro. Tone. So we heard this tone from that harp. Good word, thanks for adding it. Let's scroll down. And let's see, we hear this harp, and where are we? Are we in a dream? I don't know. We'll find out. No, we're not in a dream, we're in the inn. I said, are we in a dream? Because we're talking about dreams, and like, there are weird dream worlds in this game pretty often, so I thought we might be in a dream, but seems like not. Yosh. Okay, so from somewhere, like I'm curious what we're doing, so that's why I checked this adventure guide here. Again, Boken means adventure, so Boken Guide adventure guide. So どこから縦ごとの音色が聞こえてくるのか聖地な村を探索しよう. So look around, find this tone we're hearing from this harp. So let's look around. So is it nighttime now, maybe? Yep. I'm guessing we're looking for Serena, probably playing her harp. Looks like Jade is out here too. Kanji. Marude. So it's almost as if Sora ga naiteru yona. So it's almost as if the sky is crying. Because Sora is sky, Naku is to cry. So this rain here, it's almost like the sky is crying. So it makes me remember that last time when I was with the Queen, your mom, 16 years ago. And so she's saying here, I must become stronger to protect the people that I care about. This is very much reminds me of the first game we played on this quest. We played Xenoblade 2. This guy was all about this exact line. I must become strong to protect the people that are important to me. So how do you break that down in Japanese? Taisetsu na hito. Important people. So hito, people. Taisetsu, important. And then to protect them. So taisetsu na hito o mamoreru yoni. So in order to protect them, tsuyoku narou to shita. So I became strong to protect them. But still, she's not good enough. Watashi wa mara mara. So mara, still, mara mara. I am still inexperienced. Mijuku. This is a good word. We could add this to our power level. Means like inexperienced green, so I'm still not good enough. Ah, ja, mata ne. See you later. And, yep, so she's saying, to protect everyone in the world, Veronica was much stronger. So in chapter, I think chapter 10 of Genki, you learn about comparisons. Veronica no hou ga zutto tsuyokatta. So Veronica is much stronger. You can connect no hou ga to say something is above something else. So she's saying Veronica was above me. She was much stronger. The adjective tsuyoi. Stronger, it's the past form with ta. So good word added here. Mijuku. Unripe, green, inexperienced. She's saying she is still inexperienced. Veronica is much stronger. So let's keep looking around. I'm kind of betting she might be at that, you think maybe at that forest again? It seems like that's where she used to play with her sister. She may be there. That's my guess. We have Sylvia here too. Let's talk to Sylvia. And a cat. No, a dog. What? You can't pet the dog? I thought you could pet dogs in this game. You can't... Maybe you can pet dogs, but not little dogs? I don't know. That's not fair. You can only pet bigger dogs, but not little dogs. Or maybe you just can't pet dogs. I don't know what's happening. I thought you could pet dogs. I'm troubled. Let's talk to Sylvia. Ara, Akira-chan. 眠れないのも無理はないけれど、あまり一人で考え込んじゃダメ。 So I can understand you can't sleep, but thinking too much by yourself? Don't do that. I guess don't be too in your own head. Yeah, it's not fair, but I guess it's true. That's one reason, I guess, to get a bigger dog in life. The smaller ones might be harder to bend down and pet. If you're in the world of Dragon Quest, it might in fact be impossible. So yeah, it seems like my quest too, I have failed in making everyone smile. So all our party members are kind of thinking we all have got to level up. We got to be more like Veronica. If we were all as strong as her, maybe we could have done better. Huh, so I heard from the direction of the inn a sad sound. Could it be Serena's harp? From the inn? Is she at the inn? What? You're just in the inn. Confused. Let's go back to the inn, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't see her. But if you think about it directionally, could she be up here? Yeah, she is. Noti no yomo hitotsu no hawa ni imare yo chigirishi. So he's talking about these leaves being born, going away. I wasn't sure if it would stop, so I was reading some of it. So she's doing a song about these leaves of the world tree that are born and then they will go away as well. Namida, we're talking about tears too. Namida no tama to tomoni. So along with your tears, the lives will fall away like a leaf. Yeah, I'd like if we had some voice acting here, but oh well. Kono negai hitotsu ga watashi no subete. So the key here seems to be Kono negai. So this wish, this one wish, is my subete, my everything in this difficult time.
この歌は古の時代から聖地ラムダに伝わる悲しき恋の歌。死に別れた恋人を愛おしむもの。
Okay. So this song from ancient times has been passed down through the generations in this holy town of, again we see Labara, the name of this town. So we're talking about what? We're talking about a song. So Kono Uta, this song has been passed down. What's it about? Kanashiki Koi no Uta. So it's a song about sad love. So koi, love, and then kanashi, sad. And then shini wakareta. It's about a lover. Here's the word for lover. Have we learned the word for lover? I think we did. Just the word for love plus the word for person. Koibito. So it's about lamenting the death of a lover. koibito turned green, so it was a duplicate, but thanks for adding it anyway. Ooh, and we did get another word that's very apt right now, a good word to learn right now, because it means painful, heartrending, kind of very sad. Setsunai. Good word, thanks for adding it. Let's scroll down. Power level is now 3138. Let's make our power level go up. Look at the bottom right. Power level is rising on Japanese Quest. Let's go.
神語りの里に一体誰がこのような歌を残したのかわかりませんが、私は幼い頃からこの歌が好きでした。
Okay. So, I don't know who left this song to be passed down in this village, but from when I was young, I loved this song. Watashi wa. So as for me, osanai koro kara. So from when I was young, this word here, osanai, could be a good one to add to our power level. It means young, can kind of mean immature as well. So from the time I was young, was that not a new word? Okay, I think it came up as a duplicate. I liked this song. Kono uta ga suki deshita. And again, can be like, can be love, but the way she's playing it, I think it's fair to say she loves this song. Video game, bar, space station, yokozo. Japanese Quest, welcome to Japanese Quest. Let's go.
大樹が落ちたあの日からずっと私には心残りに思っていたことがあるのです。
So from the day the world tree fell, yeah, I've been having some regrets. Video game. Konnichiwa.
ねえ
Just said hello to a video game. I like it. Sister, was this possibly the last conversation they had when our last night before we fought Morrigan? Could be. Orange Mime, we got a new party member. By the way, anyone just joining, I'm a Japanese teacher. What we do here, we learn Japanese from Japanese games. We learn words in context, but mostly we just kind of relax, have some fun with Japanese. Oftentimes, study can be a place that seems kind of stressful, kind of anxiety-inducing. What we do in the kind of community we try to create is the opposite of that. Anxiety for learning should be zero. Just like Crashin says, this is a place to relax. This is a place to have fun with Japanese. To be kind of inspired maybe to approach Japanese in a new way. Have fun with it, find a way to have fun with it. And then if you start doing that every day, kind of like we're doing here, then you will automatically start learning Japanese. That's how your brain works. It recognizes patterns. So you'll start to see patterns here on stream. If you're reading yourself playing games or reading manga, reading books, you'll start to see patterns there, and over time you will learn Japanese. It's hard to get started, but it gets easier every day. So we always say mainichi, mainichi, every day, and we're right now streaming every weekday this same time. So welcome. Ultra Dan, Yokozo, Japanese Castaway. All the new party members today, you're very much welcome. We've been on a long journey so far, and the journey continues. Let's go. We started in 2018.
きっと
Let's keep going.
芽吹く時も散る時も同じですよね。
Yeah, that's the key. You want to read every day? That's a great comment. Mainichi yomitai. I want to read every day. Yeah, I recommend, there's a switch in your mind. Check it out. There's a switch in Veronica's mind too. You might find the switches in your mind. Right now, it's possibly in the off position. All I'm recommending here, we've talked about it before, switch it to the on position. You might find you also have this switch in your mind. The Japanese reading switch. Switch it to on. Do it every day. If you do, later, it'll be almost like magic. You can now read Japanese. It might not come tomorrow, it might not come in 2 weeks, but eventually you'll just realize, it'll click. Huh, I can read this now. That's the key. So I recommend flip the switch in your mind. It works. I flipped the switch. Been reading Japanese every day for 6 years now, and now it comes quite natural. Around that same time I became a Japanese teacher, and here we are. I recommend join the journey, and you can try the same thing, flip the switch in your mind. It's surprisingly easy. Maybe not today, but someday. It's there. You can find the switch, do it. And yeah, again, thank you for the comments. Very cool. I don't have time to read all the comments always, but thanks for the comments. It helps to see all of that perspective. Everyone's on their own quest. It's good to see that too. Really? I wouldn't. I love kanji. At first though, when I first started learning, to be honest, I felt the same way. Why all this kanji? But the more kanji you learn, you realize it actually makes it much easier to read Japanese. So at first it's kind of a barrier, but later this barrier becomes kind of something that is actually good. It kind of props you up. It becomes fun. It becomes a good thing. So it starts out as this barrier you can't get over, but eventually, don't worry, you will grow into this person and you will like kanji. So kanji kind of changes. And at least for our lifetime, like in that kind of frame, kanji is a great part of Japanese that makes it unique, makes it fun, it adds a lot of richness to the language, and actually makes it much easier to learn. Like, we talked about spaces earlier, and again, I don't want to get into it, but if there were no kanji, then yeah, we would need spaces probably. But because of kanji, you don't really need spaces so much, because it helps you parse the language, because you have these word barriers often with kanji. Okay. So yeah, we talked about this back then. They had this conversation. So I always thought we would die. We would be born and we would die at the same time. They talked about that then before that final battle. And as it turns out, that was kind of foreshadowing. So, watashi to one-sama wa kitto. So me and my sister, meibuku toki mo chiru toki mo onaji. And again, she's using the language of trees. So that we will bud and we will fall as a leaf at the same time. We will die, we will be born at the same time, don't you think?
セーニャはいつもクズだからどうかしら
Yeah, I completely agree with Hokkaido Gaming personally, but at first I really did not like kanji. When I was in Japanese class, I kind of hated kanji. But over time, you learn to kind of love kanji, as like Hokkaido Gaming said. I love kanji. It's part of what makes the language unique and a challenge. Yeah, but it's really one of the things that's unique and fun about Japanese, to be honest. And over time, like, to be honest, like I was you. I completely agreed with you in every way. I kind of hated kanji, and I'd forget them all after the test. After I aced the test, I'd forget them, and I just didn't care and thought they were a waste of time. But over time, that perspective may change, because kanji adds a lot to reading Japanese and adds a lot to the language. I mean, if you think about it, tons of Japanese vocab is kind of from kanji. It's a big part of the language that can't be separated from it at this point. And then Serena said, or she said about Serena, so Senya wa itsumo guzu dakara dokashira. So you're always kind of slow. You're always kind of a bit slower, not so much with the initiative. So I wonder if we will at the same time. And she's right. She turned out to be right. So she was the one who jumped out at the last moment, saved everyone. And I guess she was kind of slow to protect everyone, and she couldn't do it. Yeah, I'm glad we could cross paths too. Good to see you. Konnichiwa. そして、ようこそ Japanese Quest away. Welcome to Japanese Quest. Let's go.
でもそうだといいわね。
But it would be good if we died at the same time. They're twins. They were born at the same time. It'd be good if we died at the same time too. I guess that didn't end up happening. 悲しいね。
セーニャ、約束して。この先、私の身に何かあっても、一人で生きていけるって。
So Serena, promise me. Like from now, whatever happens to me, you will live on by yourself. So I think she kind of has a premonition. She might need to sacrifice herself. But no matter what happens to me, you need to live on and carry on for both of us. Hitoride. By yourself. Hiteikeru. So keep living on by yourself. Exactly. Her heart will go on. Reminds me of Titanic. I think I saw that one time in Japan with Japanese subtitles. It was very big in Japan too. I saw that movie when it came out too. At the time, I didn't think I'd like it because all the young guys like me at that time kind of hated Leo DiCaprio because he's like at that time the hottest guy in the world supposedly. So we all hated the guy. But I still saw the movie, and I was blown away, to be honest, because I thought it would suck. At the time, no one knew the movie was. It was really good. Kind of cheesy, but solid movie.
そんな約束できません。お姉様がいなくなってしまうなんて、私考えられませんわ。
Huh, so that promise I cannot make. Again, the word we see coming up, yakusoku, promise. We could edit, but probably we can't because we've learned it already. Yeah, it's the situation where like he was basically like, I don't know, Justin Bieber 10 years ago. Everyone kind of hated him. Everyone probably still hates Justin Bieber. I don't really know. I don't really care. But at that time, in the 90s, Leo DiCaprio was that guy on all the magazines. But the movie was still good. Sona yakusoku wa dekimasen. I cannot make that promise. I don't want to think that you could be gone. Kangaeraremasen. So I'm not able to think that. No, he didn't make songs, but this song that was brought up was a hugely popular song that was a #1 hit from that movie, the biggest movie of all time, Titanic, that came out. It was the biggest movie at that time. It was the biggest movie for like, I don't know, 20 years until it was topped with Avatar. I don't know, maybe it wasn't 20 years. It's more like 10 years. Anyway, long time. He did not make songs, but that movie came out from that song, Celine Dion. Don't want to go down that rabbit hole. The rabbit hole was ended.
私はずっと後悔していました。
Hmm.
あの時約束していれば、お姉様も安心して天に召されたのではないかと。
Yeah. You like the Neko cam? I'm glad you like it, but periodically, for full transparency, so we have this emote. So our first party member ever was this cat, Griffin Sensei. But we're in a sad point in this game. Veronica passed away. This kitty, Griffin Sensei, did pass away too. We mention it quite often, but not all the time, because it's kind of too sad for me to mention all the time. But it's a sad moment in this game. It was very sad too when Griffin Sensei passed away. So it is not live. And to be honest, it was not live even when Griffin Sensei was alive for the first year and a half of this stream. Griffin Sensei was alive. Even then, it was usually a loop just because it's hard to herd a cat. And usually we had the loop, sometimes it was live. Now, there are 2 new kittens, Aki and Haru. Sometimes they join live. But the reason is, just like Veronica, in a way, she is still on this journey in this game with them, in their hearts, maybe even as a spirit in some way, in her sister. Griffin Sensei is still with us on this journey. Griffin Sensei wants to keep going on this journey, seeing new places, seeing new games, learning new words, meeting new nakama. So all of you here, even though Griffin Sensei has passed away, and even if some of us in chat pass away someday, don't worry. We are still, all of us who have been a party member, are still on this journey in some way, even someday when I pass away. In some form, the journey, it keeps going on. So let's go. Let's keep going on for Veronica in the game, for Griffin Sensei, who is the first party member on Japanese Quest. We need to keep going on for these people too. We gotta be strong for their memory too. Sa, ikimashou. And yeah, she's thinking again, her sister who passed away. So I was always thinking, and I've always been regretting. Kokai shite imashita. So I was regretting this word, kokai, regret. So I'm regretting that if I had promised her on that day, maybe then she could have died and been more at ease. But I couldn't make that promise at that time. She didn't want to realize that she could die. What? We got a dragon! Summoned by a video game bar space station. That's a surprise. We have this dragon swooping down from a space station. Imagine that image, because that's what's happening in the world of Japanese Quest. Let's go. We got a dragon. Thank you very much for the sub. Arigato. Yeah, we don't always mention it because it is sad. It's sad for me. I almost was crying the first stream we came back after Griffin Sensei did pass away. You can look it up if you want to. It's on YouTube. We played Breath of the Wild, and anyway, it's a long story, but that was quite a stream. But anyway, that's why we don't bring it up all the time. But don't worry, Griffin Sensei still is on this journey with us. You can see it in the world of Japanese Quest. Griffin Sensei still is here on this journey with us. So let's keep going. And like, I'm not even being like symbolic totally. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, here's the world of Japanese Quest. This right here is the world of Japanese Quest. We're building this world with language. The word for cave, the word for castle, the word for river. This is the world of Japanese Quest. Everyone here, you have access to this world. All these words, this is the world that we share. The world of Japanese Quest no Sekai. And this kitty here, this is Griffin Sensei. So no matter what happens, this world will always be here. Somewhere. So Griffin Sensei did die in the real world, that's true. But Griffin Sensei will always be here in the world of Japanese Quest with us on this journey. And I'm not even just being metaphorical. This is in the framework of Japanese Quest. Griffin is, in fact, still alive in this world. And so are we. So let's go. I'm glad you enjoy the channel. And I'm glad you're here. Sa, 一緒に行きましょう。
お姉様の言う通り、私はグズだったんです。言葉や呪文を覚えるのも、道を歩くのも、何もかもお姉様より遅れていた。
Yeah, so it's kind of like my sister said. So iu is to say, 言う通り So it's like my sister said, watashi wa guzu. And the first time we read this in the game, I actually wasn't totally sure, because usually you see this as like guzu guzu, like two things to be kind of slow or sluggish. But watashi wa guzu. So I am slow. She was right. When it comes to words, when it comes to spells, when it comes to walking the path, all of it. I was slower than my sister. One-sama yori okurite ita. And by the way, if you want to see more of the story of these two sisters, there's actually like an audiobook only feature in this version of the game that you can get a full voiced story with them and their past. It's pretty cool. So if you get this version of the game, this Dragon Quest XI S, you can get full audio, the audiobook of different stories of the characters, and you can just like look back at previous lines. You can play them again and again. Could be great for learning, just to let you know.
ですが、まさかこんな時にまで先に行かれてしまうなんて。
But to think that even now, she's faster than me. She died before me.
ごめんなさい。少しだけ、ほんの少しだけ、あなたの隣で泣かせてください。
Gomennasai. I'm sorry. For just a little while. Can you let me cry? By your side? Some keywords here at the end. And you'll notice often we jump to the end. Often the key info is at the end of these paragraphs here. So, anata means you. Anata no tonari. So near you, by you. So maybe, so by you. Could you let me just cry for a little while? Ah, yeah, nice comment. I was crying at this scene. Yeah, good to see you, OG-san. POG-san. Ooh, here we see someone wrote a new word here. Hon no sukoshi. Just a little. Just a little. So could you let me cry by you just a little? I think we can.
ごめんなさい。やっと心の迷いが晴れました。
So sorry about that. Finally, the kind of wavering in my heart has cleared. Let's break that down a little bit. So kokoro, very important, means your heart. So here we can see her heart here, and her heart was kind of wavering. This is wavering drawing. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Anyway, her heart was wavering, and but now, finally, yatto, finally, now I know what I must do.
お姉様が助けてくれたこの命、精一杯未来へつないでみせます。
So this life of mine that was saved by my sister, I must live for the future with everything I have. Yeah, we like visual aids here. Anything to help learn a little bit more, make it a little bit more fun. That's what we like. Ooh! The haircut scene. Now we know she's serious.
もう涙は見せません。
Ooh. So this is kind of a symbolic... You could say she's kind of cutting a line between the present and the past, and where is that line cut? Right here. Cutting off her hair at the same time. Very clean cut with the past and with her hair. If you think about it, like years of her past are literally in the cells of that hair. So if you think about it, it kind of is literally cutting off the past in a certain way. And what's she saying? Mo. So no more. Namida wa misemasen. I will not cry. I will not show tears anymore. Namida is tears. And good, we got another new word, someone added. Thank you. So she's no longer wavering. This word here, mayoi, hesitation, doubt. She's no longer in doubt. She no longer hesitates. She knows what to do.
さようなら。
Step 1, cut off hair. Step 2, save the world. And I think she's here saying sayonara. What do you think in chat? Is she saying sayonara to her sister? Is she saying sayonara to her hair? Is it to the past? What do you think? It's a bit open for interpretation. I feel like it's mostly to her sister. Yeah, I think it might be a bit of all of the above. Wow. So her hair drifted off, offered to the souls that have passed on. Yeah, Dry Skull, I agree. Very good moment in the game. And I've really just... It's been a good... It's made for a good stream, too. It's just really good moments. She's ready now. I'm thinking she leveled up. Funny comments in chat.
もしかして
Ooh, this power, could it be? Ah, すごい。
ありがとうお姉様
I don't know. Someone said earlier they cried at this scene. I was not emotional at all, but for some reason, did anyone else have it? Like sometimes there's like a spark of emotion, don't know where it came from, but I, like directly when she like made the flame, I felt like kind of choked up. I don't know why, but you get emotional at weird times. Like when I saw the flame, like you know that's Veronica's power, and I got kind of emotional, kind of choked up suddenly. I didn't like cry, but you felt that feeling. And I didn't feel it really before that, but at that moment I saw the flame, you knew her sister was there. So she says here, Arigato, One-sama. Thank you, sister. Any plan to stream Dragon Quest 12 once it drops? I don't have the system for it. I'm guessing it comes out on PlayStation 5, but do I have interest? Yeah, I do. We'll see when it comes out. Yeah, I played through this game a long time ago. A year and a half ago. Actually, I didn't play it for like a year, but then picked it up again. So yeah, played the game in English. Now playing it the first time in Japanese on stream here. So yep, I do know what happens, but I kind of sometimes pretend that I don't. Because I don't want to spoil people too much. But I will say it's helped for like battle and things, because like... I've only died once in the game. We died on the squid, which for me, my skill level is pretty good. Died more the first time. Okay, so thank you, sister. Yeah, I agree with you, Ultra. I'm used to sad scenes too, but when he got her powers, there was something about that for me was really emotional. You wouldn't think that like powers could be so emotional, but in a way, it hit some kind of something different inside. Maybe not for everyone, but for you and me, it seems like that one hit hard. Okay, wow. So Veronica's spells and skills now have been inherited by Serena. We see this word for inherited. Inheritance, succession, to share, can be a pseudo verb, so keisho. Keisho suru. Good word. Thanks for adding it. Because that's what's happening now. All of Beranaka no Jumon to skill ga Senya ni keisho sareta. So all these spells, all these skills have been inherited by Serena. Let's go. Power level 2. We've also powered up. In a way, we've also inherited some of these powers from Veronica too. So let's make our power level go up. Let's go back to the world of Japanese Quest. You can see the world of Japanese Quest here. Our power level is rising to... I think we're at... 3141. Let's make that power level go up. 3141. The goal, of course, over 9,000, and we're getting there. We're getting closer. And the journey, that's really the important thing. Enjoying the journey. Let's go. So again, it's saying to go to the inn. お姉様は私に, so my sister to me. So notice how you can kind of like start to break things down before you get to the next sentence even. So you know something from her sister to her. いろんなものを残してくれました. So she left various things to me. 私はもう迷いません. So I will not falter anymore. I will not be lost anymore. This verb mayo can mean to be lost. So I am no longer lost. I know what to do. 私はもうしばらくの間ここで夜風に当たっていますわ。どうぞ宿でお休みになってください. So I will, for a little bit longer, stay out here in the night air. Kind of cool word here. Just the kanji for night plus the kanji for wind. So you just hang out in the night wind a little bit longer. Could be a new word? I think it could be. どうぞ宿屋で. So at the inn, you can rest there. Yeah, don't blame her. I want to just kind of rest by this tree a bit more. I'm sure she was with her sister by this tree many times. Must be very nostalgic. Yeah, I'd say it depends on the context. It can kind of be both. Why can we not jump off this ledge? Come on, we could survive that. We're the Yusha. We're the hero. I just want to jump off cliffs. Okay, let's save the game down here. Because we've been through a lot of story here. Whoops. I was trying to talk to the statue. Sometimes you do that in this game. Not this time. No, you talk to this guy. Whoops. He must have thought, what are you doing? Trying to talk to the statue when you can talk to me. It's true, Unboxious. But, he's still young. He can level up some more. He also, if you think about it, he's still in the input phase. He's getting all input. He never speaks. He's getting lots of language input, which is good at first, but eventually he might be brave enough to speak too. But lots of input, so that's good. He is well aware of the input hypothesis. This Yusha here, big crashing guy. Very much into the input hypothesis. So right now, just taking in words. In time, though, don't worry. He'll speak towards the end of the game, probably. Wow, we're almost up to 160 hours. Quite a few hours. Very long game. Even longer when you're learning, teaching Japanese through the game. Although, highly recommended this game. Let's see, the inn is there. And, I'm thinking, though, this is a good point to end the stream today. And let's end it with Serena. We've had a lot of good moments today. Let's end it with her. We can take some of this night wind with her. Let's learn that last word, though. I think we saw that, didn't we? We can enjoy this night wind with her until next stream. Night wind. So kaze, wind. Yoru, or yo, night, evening, put them together. Night wind. Let's power up with the power of night, with the power of wind, with the power of night wind.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
Power level going up 31, 42. Let's make that power level go up. Look at the bottom right. 42 is the power. Some say that's the meaning of life, 42. So if that's true, what is 3,142? Probably nothing. But maybe something. In any case, let's end the stream here, and I will say, ja! Matane. The journey today has been a good one. The vibe in chat, the vibe in stream, even talking about Griffin Sensei, who did pass away. Veronica in the game, who did pass away. This is one of my favorite streams we've had for a while, I think. Just the vibe has been very good. And that's kind of what I strive for here, just to have a good, relaxed feeling. We can enjoy Japanese. If you're into that, you can follow, become our party member, and join us next time on Japanese Quest. Ja! Matane, see you next time. Drive, video game, ID, on Ouija, on Bakshis, Minna, ja! Matane. By the way, we are not streaming tomorrow. We are not streaming on Friday, as we will do sometimes. Check out the Discord. Unboxes just linked it. We can talk after stream there. In fact, I had an idea I want to run by people. How about a Japanese Quest summer book club? How does that sound? I was thinking it might be fun to have a maybe new channel in the Discord and just like encourage people to read books, whether it's manga, whether it's games, whether it's light novels, whether it's books. I thought a Japanese Quest summer book club could be fun. So Callie and Kanji, you like that idea? I'm thinking to kind of have like an additional optional quest. Could be kind of fun. We talked about possibly doing quests. I was thinking, yeah, a book club would be nice. Ooh, you like that, Ouija? I'm glad you like it. So yeah, of course it's optional, it's not for everyone, but I think having some kind of a summer book club could be fun. You can maybe get a reward for yourself if you read your first ever book. Whatever you like. Maybe it could be ice cream for the summer. We can maybe show like pictures of the books that we read, or like the virtual bookshelf you can make on this site, Book Meter, things like that. So I'm thinking some kind of summer book club could be kind of fun. We could reference it once in a while on stream. We could see where people are, and it could, for a lot of people, maybe be the first book, the first manga, the first game they ever read or play. And it could just encourage people, kind of like when we were kids. Maybe you had like a readathon over a summer or something like that. And just for fun, have fun reading. It's just really about tapping into that joy of reading and realizing reading can be manga, it can be games, it can be books, it can be all of that. So something to think about. We can talk about that maybe in the Discord that was linked up here, so check it out. And let's think about that. Maybe start that sometime soon. So, ja! Matane! And yeah, there's plenty of books out there with Furigana, plenty of games with Furigana. We'll talk about those too. So, ja! Matane, Japanese Quest will continue. Let's find someone, though, to host too. We always want to pass on, just like the powers in this game were passed on to Serena. We pass on the hype for Japanese learning to other channels too. Let's find out who is out there right now. Who shall we host? Who shall we raid? Let's find someone. There must be someone out there right now. Who shall we host? It looks like right now I am seeing... There must be someone out. Wasef, learning Japanese from Japanese games. Let's raid Wasef yet again. Right. Awesome streamer. Let's raid Wasef. Cannot speak English. Let's raid them though. So let's spread the learning hype to Wasef, who is learning Japanese through Japanese games, and that is generally what they do. So let's bring the hype to them. Raid starting now. Jump! Wait, what? Something went wrong. Try running that action, quick action again later. Why did that not work? Let's try raiding again. For some reason, I've never seen that fail. Let's try again. Wasef, start raid. Failing again? Why would that be failing? I don't understand. The raid is failing. Eh? Can we manually do it somehow? I don't know. Never seen that fail before. Trying to raid Wasef. Let's try one more time. If not, I think I'll just end the stream and then try to raid manually. Or host manually. Something went wrong. Try running that quick action again later. So maybe something's wrong with quick actions. I don't know. What if we do raid? And then let's do Wasef. Yeah, I wouldn't think they'd turn raids off. I raid them all the time. And what is their name exactly? Wasef. I'll try to do it through chat. So I'll do raid Wasef. This channel is intended for mature audiences. We use raid Wasef. I think there it should work. So now I will end the stream. Ja! Watanabe, see you next time. Japanese Quest will continue Monday, same time, 9 a.m. Central Time. Ja! Watanabe, Japanese Quest will continue.